Izzy, and we got a fun one for you guys in this video today. Obviously, we're a month away from preseason starting up in the NFL here, you guys. So I thought it'd be fun to break out the old top 10 list here. We're going to go through probably over the next month and do a top 10s for each position in the NFL here. So obviously, with the first top 10 list, you guys starting off before the season here, we're going to start off with the quarterbacks today. So I'm going to give you my list of the top 10 quarterbacks that I think are the top 10 in the league right now. This is not necessarily accurate to what you guys may think. But this is just my opinion on who I think the top 10 quarterbacks are in order going into the 2021 season. So without further ado, you guys, thank you for watching this video, and let's get into it. So first overall, you guys, I got Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, this is no surprise to anyone. I'm sure most of you guys would have Pat Mahomes as the #1 rated quarterback in the league. A couple stats from 2020, threw for 4,740 yards, 38 touchdowns and 6 interceptions with 66% completion percentage. So pretty nice numbers all around, almost at that 5,000 yard mark. Again, almost the 40 touchdown mark, kept his interceptions under 10. Had a rough go in the championship game there, obviously, against Tom Brady. That Bucs defense was just outstanding. And obviously with the injuries on the offensive line for Patrick Mahomes there, it was really tough for him. He was just scrambling around playing backyard football. That entire championship game there wasn't able to pull it through there. They got just pummeled in the Super Bowl. But nonetheless, great young quarterback, and no doubt that this guy's probably the top QB in the league. So I got Patty Mahomes, #1, you guys. And then #2, a little bit biased here. A little bit biased, as you could tell from the hat, but he did win an MVP last year, so I'll put Aaron Rodgers at the #2 slot for the top quarterbacks in the league going into 2021. Obviously, like I said, he's coming off a nice MVP season last year, played outstanding for my Packers. Unfortunate we weren't able to pull it out in the NFC Championship game there. Obviously, our defense did pretty well. We were able to turn Tom Brady over 3 times in a row and just wasn't able to get the ball down the field and drive it in for a touchdown, unfortunately. But still a really, really nice season from Rodgers. Won his 3rd MVP of his career. Finished the season off with 4,299 yards, 48 touchdowns, finished 2 shy of 50. And only had 5 interceptions, which is just insane, with a 70% completion percentage as well, which is just gnarly. The fact that the guy only threw 5 picks to almost 50 touchdowns last year is just insane. I mean, he's got the highest touchdown interception ratio in the history of the league. Most likely when he retires, I don't think that will ever be broken. I think he's almost got a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. I think the next closest guy is like a 2-to-1 or a 2.5-to-1. So, I mean, he's just so accurate. Hardly ever turns the ball over. Reigning MVP. Fingers crossed, you guys. Fingers crossed that he's coming back to the Packers here for the next season. We'll have to see what happens there. But nonetheless, no matter which team he plays on, I still think he's the 2nd best quarterback in the league, right behind Patrick Mahomes. So we got Aaron Rodgers, #2, you guys. #3, this one might bring in some controversy a little bit here. I know Tom Brady still hasn't made the list yet, but he's getting there. He's getting up there. So right now, #3, you guys, I'm putting in Russell Wilson in the #3 slot. Now, it could be Tom Brady's slot possibly, but like I said, Tom Brady's just getting up there in age. I think Russell Wilson at this point in his career is the better of the 2 quarterbacks. I think if you were to take any of those top 3 quarterbacks between Russ, Aaron, and Pat and throw them onto the Tampa Bay team, I would almost guarantee that they would be able to win a championship as well. When you have a defense that holds the opponent to 9 points and does not allow a touchdown in a Super Bowl, pretty good chance that any of those quarterbacks would be able to bring their team to a victory if their defense held the other team to 9 points. So anyways, for Russell Wilson, #3 spot, I think this is very well deserved for him. 40 touchdown season, 13 interceptions, so a nice season for him. 4,200 yards, 4,212 to be exact. 69% completion percentage, so he was the second. He was right behind Aaron Rodgers for one of the highest completion percentages on the season. Unfortunately, they went down in the first round of the playoffs to the Rams. I don't think that's really Russell Wilson's fault, though. They needed some better pieces around that team. I think he's an outstanding quarterback. I have him ahead of Tom Brady just because of his athleticism and his skill set. I think Tom's probably a better leader, maybe a better guy to have on your team for leadership qualities. But as for the skill set, I think Russell Wilson is ahead of him right now. I think there's quite a few guys ahead of Tom Brady, but you can't rank him too low because he just keeps winning championships. So, but Russell Wilson, #3, you guys. So far we got Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson. And then finally, #4 slot, Tom Brady. We're going to throw him on in there. Have to throw him in after winning the championship last year, obviously. Guy's in his mid-40s already and still threw 40 TDs last year with only 12 interceptions. Outstanding numbers. 66 66% completion percentage, 4,600 yards on the year, 4,633. Had a really nice season. Playoffs, things dampened off a little bit. He went from a 66 completion percentage down to a 59% completion percentage in the playoffs. So his numbers did drop off a little bit in the playoffs. Obviously, when you're playing better defensive talent, it's a little bit harder on you. And because Tom Brady is in his 40s, you can tell when he plays that top-end defensive talent, he does struggle a little bit. Even, they got lucky, man. They got lucky against the Packers, in my opinion, in that championship game. Our defense, in my opinion, did enough to win. We just couldn't put up enough points. When you turn the guy over 3 times and you can't put it in the end zone, that's pretty bad, right? So especially all second half turnovers, back-to-back interceptions. I think Jair had 2 and Amos had 1, and we just weren't able to put it home there. Tom Brady was able to hang on. Once again, like a lot of these championships Brady has won, this is why he's not in my top 2 or 3 guys, is because the last few championships he's won, I think the last 2 he's won, the team that he's faced hasn't even put in a touchdown. So that's how good a defense that Tom Brady's had. Not to mention how many offensive weapons between Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and then you got Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones Jr. I mean, you just have so many offensive talent. One of the best O-lines in the league. One of the best defenses in the league. I mean, the guy just goes to stacked teams to be able to win these chips. Even when he was with the Patriots, absolutely stacked on the defensive side of the ball. You only got to put up 15 points to win a championship. Like, you don't have to score that much. So, but anyways, you guys, Tom Brady, number 4, still deserves it. Still the greatest quarterback of all time. Most winningest quarterback of all time. And then we're going off to the number 5 slot, you guys. Now, this is where it could get jumbled up a little bit here. Everyone's going to have their own opinion, obviously. Once again, this is my opinion on who I think are the top quarterbacks, the top 10. So in that 5 slot, I'm throwing in Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. Had a nice 2020 season, really stepped it up and showed the caliber of player that he has the potential to be in the years to come here. Had a 37 touchdown, 10 interception season, which is pretty nice. 4,500 yards, 69% completion percentage. Made it all the way to the AFC final where they just weren't able to hang on against the Chiefs, but an outstanding season from Josh Allen. I would expect him to have a similar season, maybe even a little bit better than last year. Obviously, the addition of Stephon Diggs was huge for them. He's been his number 1 target, been an outstanding target for him to hit down the field. And then obviously they got Cole Beasley for those inside routes. So yeah, Josh Allen's got a nice little team built around him there. He's really stepped up his game in the last year or 2 here and has continued to improve each and every season. I would expect him to take another jump this season. And yeah, I got him at my number 5 spot. So now this one might be a little bit of controversy, you guys. I think he's better than what he's been on the team that he was with, but I'm going to go with Matt Stafford in the 6th slot. 2020 stats aren't super impressive. 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, 64% completion percentage. Still pretty nice. Obviously didn't make the playoffs, but that's no surprise when you're playing on the Detroit Lions. So obviously got traded in the offseason, heading to the Rams. So this will be the season we get to see if Matt Stafford is the quarterback we think he is, or if it wasn't actually all Detroit's fault in the end there. So we'll find out. I put him in the 6th slot because I think he is the quarterback that we think he is, and I think he was hindered by just a bad organization in Detroit. He's got a great coach, some good wideouts, good running game, pretty solid defense, a really good O-line over in Los Angeles there with the Rams. So I think he's going to have a nice season this year. Maybe even have an MVP caliber season with the Rams. We'll have to see what happens. But I got him at my number 6 slot. And then number 7, you guys, got the rookie from last season who won the Rookie of the Year, and Justin Herbert. This guy was outstanding last year. I don't think any of us seen this one coming. I think we knew he had the potential to be great, but I don't think we expected him to be the best player out of that draft. I mean, Joe Burrow got injured, so it's tough to say if he would have been better, but I mean, tough to beat those numbers. Justin Herbert was outstanding, 4,336 yards in a rookie season, 31 TDs to 10 interceptions, 66% completion percentage. I mean, just an outstanding rookie season. The guy can only get better from here. Getting some new coaching in there. Obviously, they didn't have a great season as a team, but that's not any fault towards Justin. That's just the coaching, and the team was just not that quality last year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for them this year. Then over to the number 8 slot, you guys, a guy who's continued to improve each and every season. Just missed the playoffs last year, but they were close. And that'll be Arizona's quarterback, Kyler Murray. In the 8 slot, you guys, I think this guy's going to have another improvement season here. I think he's going to continue to get better. Probably break that 4,000 yard mark. He had 3,971 yards last year, 26 TDs to 12 interceptions. 67% completion percentage, which is pretty nice as well. Like I said, unfortunately, they just missed the playoffs, but they were pushing there towards the end of the year. I would expect them to be close to making the playoffs again this year. They're obviously in the toughest division in football. But I really like the game of Kyler Murray. Plus, he's just an absolute run threat. Such a shifty, jukey guy who can really run the ball well as well. So just puts a lot of extra added pressure on the defenses that he goes up against. So that's why I got him in my number 8 slot. And then number 9 slot, we got Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens. Last year's stats, not that great of a passer, man, but his running ability is just through the roof. That's kind of why I got him in my top 10, just because of his diverse ability. And the guy can just do so many things without having to throw the ball. Last year he had 2,700 yards throwing, 26 TDs to 9 interceptions. So not great numbers, but not terrible either. Obviously he ran the shit out of the ball as well. 64% completion percentage. Finally won his first playoff game last year. They still went out in the second round, but at least they got a playoff win last year. I got him ranked a little bit lower. He would be a top 5 QB if he could throw the ball a little better and have a little better accuracy. But that's something that he can work into and hopefully improve in this next season. If he can improve his throwing accuracy and his deep ball accuracy outside the numbers, man, this guy can be a real good quarterback for years to come, especially with his running ability as well. But for now, we'll leave him in that 9 slot and see if he climbs the ranks throughout the year here. So, and then the 10 slot, you guys, this one could add a lot of controversy too. There could be so many people that could fit into the 10 slot. I'm going with a guy who was injured most of last year. I think he's going to have a good bounce back season this year. Be one of the top QBs, and that's going to be Dak Prescott, you guys. I know he's with the Cowboys. I'm not a Cowboy fan. Don't really like the Cowboys at all, to be honest with you. But I do like Dak, man. I love his leadership. He's great at coming back in the fourth. You know, never gives up. Great leader, tough guy, hard-nosed player, can run the ball. He's got good versatility on the field. Tough. You know, pretty much every attribute you want in a quarterback. Needs to work on his fitting it into tight windows and shit like that a little bit better, making a little bit better decisions in certain times. But other than that, he's a very solid quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see how he does if he gets a full season with full health here. Last year, only played 5 games last year, but his numbers for 5 games is pretty outstanding with just shy of 2,000 yards in 5 games, which is nice. 68% completion, which is up there. 9 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. You'd like to see improve a little bit, but obviously with only 5 games played, tough to say what would have happened the rest of the season, but I expect a big bounce back season from Dak. I don't know if they're going to make playoffs or win their division, but I would expect them to be probably right around a 500 team or just above 500 this year. So, and I expect a bit of a bounce back season from Dak coming off that injury. So that's my top 10 anyways, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below on what ones you would change. We'll just go through a little recap real quick and go through all the top 10s again. So number 1, we got Patrick Mahomes, no surprise. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. No surprise for me, and being a Green Bay fan, he won the MVP last year. Then that's where the controversy starts. I got Russ Wilson at number 3. Could put a few other guys in there. Tom Brady, that could have been swapped out. I got him in my 4 slot. 5th slot, I got Josh Allen. 6th overall, we got Matt Stafford. 7th, we got Justin Herbert after an outstanding rookie season. 8th overall, we got Kyler Murray. 9th overall, we got Lamar Jackson. And then the last out of the top 10 QBs for 2021, we got Dak Prescott rounding out the squad, you guys. So once again, maybe let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Who are your guys' top 10 QBs going into the 2021 season? Be curious to get your guys' input on that. And once again, you guys, I appreciate you taking the time to watch all these videos on my channel. Appreciate the support. Please drop a like. Subscribe if you so choose. And once again, this is Nizzy with Nizzy Sports Chat.